We were more so horrified than shocked. They 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 just treated us like they just didn't care. They tried to say that our home was already like this when they got there, and I continue to explain to them that if that's the case, explain this. If I was in my bed when you dragged me out, then how did my bed end up with so much stuff on top of it? How could I possibly be sleeping in my bed with all the material and all of my household goods thrown on top of my bed? There's no room for any human to sleep in that bed and to be awakened by officers, dragged out. I mean, they literally dragged me out of my bed while I was sleeping, threw me to the ground, pointed their weapons at my face, my head, had their knee in my back. I could see my son going through the same thing in his bedroom. I mean, a child with rifles, guns pointed at his face, pointed at his head, screaming and yelling. And as a father, I felt hopeless. There was nothing I could do at that moment to protect my child, myself, or my home. Uh, the officers then they claim they found marijuana in the residence. Um, Yet they don't charge me for it. They don't seize the marijuana. Uh, though I'm taken to jail, um, my wife was called from work to come to the home to let them know that I was being taken to jail. And none of the officers, nor not even Walmart loss prevention agents, who also searched and seized items from my home, informed my wife or my son that they would be re entering the home with drugs in it. 3 days later, the same officer who searched our home returns with CPS, a CPS agent, and this very same officer demands for the marijuana. He had no search warrant. He had nothing. He was not given permission to enter our home, but chose to do so anyways and started searching our home again. I asked so many times what my rights were, and the agent kept repeating, I had no rights. I had no rights. And in my mind, I was thinking, is there a conflict of interest here? You were just at my home. I have a case with you under your accusations of me receiving stolen property and so forth. And now you're asking me more questions about a case that you've already filed against me. Where are my rights? I need to have an attorney present if you're going to question me on these allegations that you're coming up with. And I was told numerous times I had no rights. It hurts the way they treated me and my family. Our rights were violated so bad. Excuse me. Did I feel targeted? I believe my entire family was targeted. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department, their officers leave drugs in a home and then return days later with the CPS agent and try to format a case on items that they leave behind. They invite public civilians to come into my home, our home, family home, and let them confiscate, seize personal property. Civilians, mind you. There's so much more. A lot of things that I'll have to reserve for a court of law to make the final determination, including a jury. I filed a complaint against one of the main officers, and the Riverside County Sheriffs, they send an officer whom was involved to investigate my complaint. It went nowhere. So upsetting. What a conflict of interest. I mean, I've done everything legally. I've tried everything. I've tried to explain my whole ordeal, and I truly feel that they're just trying to brush it up under a carpet. The sad part is I need to have those officers on a witness stand where they can actually tell what happened, tell the truth of what they actually did, what transpired, how it transpired. These officers had no problem leaving a child with the mother to return back into a home filled with drugs, according to them, and then bring back CPS days later. And to make matters worse, the officer came back again for a third time. You won't believe what this officer did on his third visit. I got to take a break. It's just, it's overwhelming. On a final note for now, I just want to make sure and make clear to the public that they understand that the marijuana that was found, according to the officers, they did not drug test me. They did not charge me for the marijuana. They simply leave it there in order to come back days later and create a case. The marijuana was never booked into evidence or tagged, nor did it ever make it to their station. Explain that.